The benefits of journaling range from reducing anxiety to curing physical illness, check out Dr. Sarno, to living a happier, more fulfilling life. But just like many other things we know are good for us, it's building the habit and staying consistent that tends to be the hardest part. So today I have a meta journal exercise for you to help you work through and create a plan to build your habit to journal every day. Before diving in, you can have the journal prompts I'll share with you today right in front of you in a PDF by going to the link in my blog below. While you're down there, if you are especially excited about this video topic, give this video a like. And if you are not already, subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss a free alignment training right here every Tuesday. Once, mid-session with one of my clients, he was explaining the benefits of physical exercise. He also explained a child part of himself that was throwing a tantrum, stomping his feet metaphorically inside of his own mind whenever he tried to implement this practice that he knew was beneficial. The same thing may be happening for you, whether it feels like you are rebelling against your own desires and needs. Or maybe this particular habit, no matter how much you desire it or want to maintain it, it just feels hard. You can't stick to it. That's about to change if you stay with me and you follow these 5 journal prompts and not only hear what they are about, but take the time, take a few minutes to journal them out yourself and create your plan, which you'll see in journal prompt number 5 today. As always on my channel and through my style of coaching, I don't believe to have your answers. I have the questions to help you illuminate your own wisdom and your own answers. That's the difference of this video and these 5 prompts and maybe some other tactics you've tried to use to build this habit that have failed. Because today, we are using what works for you, what excites you, what aligns with your desires to start this journaling practice in the first place. So here we go, diving right in to journal prompt number 1. Why do you want to journal every day? Simon Sinek is also in the coaching space, and he recently released a book that's called Start With Why. Using this as your starting point, as the first prompt for today and the first step anytime you are trying to build a habit or align with your best self, is crucial because this becomes your center point for motivation to persevere. This also is a crucial checkpoint before going on to any of the other prompts or steps in creating a habit. If you don't have a why, then likely this actually isn't something you want to do or need to do. In which case, don't waste your energy trying to build a habit or create a routine that isn't even yours to begin with. If that's the case, maybe dive into some other personal explorations to see where is this need or this should coming from? Who is telling me I have to do this, and why am I listening to that external motivator, to that external reasoning, when internally, when I check in with myself, I actually don't care. For the sake of this exercise, however, I'm going to assume you have a pretty good why. Maybe it has to do with one of the benefits I listed earlier. You want to experience more positivity. You want to experience the expansiveness, literally widened perspective of your life when you practice, for instance, gratitude on a daily basis. Maybe you've tasted how decluttered and simple and clear your life feels when you're able to journal it out on paper rather than keep all these thoughts ruminating in your head. Whatever that why is for you, for starting a journal practice every day, write it down for prompt 1. Then go on to prompt 2. Take a step back from the focus of journaling specifically and think of habits in your life. Specifically, consider one habit you have successfully built over time, something that now feels routine, feels like you don't even have to think about it or make that decision every day. Once you have that habit in mind, ask yourself, how did that habit form? What were some of the elements that helped you to create and now maintain that habit? So an example for me is physical movement. It's always been a part of my life, especially with my dance background. But when it came to creating my own routine that no one else was holding me accountable for, I struggled to find a feel-good routine. emphasis on the feel good. Because for a long time, I was working out on a consistent basis, but it felt like a challenge. It felt like a struggle. I did have to make that decision every day, whether or not to work out. It wasn't until I took a step back, looked at my day as a whole, and considered where would working out actually feel the best in this day. For those of you who have taken my time management workshop, you know I take a break at 3 p.m. from work. I step back from my desk, not for the rest of the day, but just for 1 or 2 hours, and that is when I move my body. This trick was the key for me to implement a feel-good movement routine into my day. Why? Because at 3 p.m., I have a dip in energy, and if I try to grind through work, it is not enjoyable. So to have a reason to step back from my desk is actually exciting and motivating in and of itself at that hour. Furthermore, the times that I was waiting to work out or move after work or before work at the beginning or end of my day wasn't energizing. If it was at the beginning of my day, for me personally, I drag my feet, I don't have that much energy, I'm still waking up, and then I don't really enjoy the rest of my day because I woke up in such a forceful way. On the flip side, if I waited till the end of the day, it often got late and it was really easy for me to just push it aside and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. So again, zoom out from journaling specifically and ask yourself, what was a successful habit you have built and maintained? And what was one of the tricks or a few of the tricks that really helped to begin and maintain that habit? Then go on to prompt 3. What type of accountability works really well for you? One option to answer this question is to do so through the lens of Gretchen Rubin, who talks about the 4 tendencies, specifically 4 different types of individuals and how we react to authority or how we react to accountability. So some of us really love external guidelines to follow and hold us accountable. Some of us rebel against any guidelines, whether they're externally created or internally created. Myself, I'm the questioner, and so I may follow external guidelines only if I agree with why they are set. So whether or not you use Gretchen Rubin's framework, consider what mode of accountability works really well for you. Do you like external deadlines and guidelines and accountability partners? Do you like forming them yourself and sticking to your own plan? Do you like a mix between the two? Consider if you thrived in school or not, or in a work environment or not, on teams, on projects, or independently. And then go on to prompt 4, which is the flip side of the second prompt we already worked through. And that is to think of a habit that you tried to implement, but you couldn't quite stick to. I use the word failed in that PDF, and use this lightly, don't get too hard on yourself, but really think of something that you tried to implement and it still isn't a natural, normal part of your life. Maybe you have already tried to journal every day and you just can't quite find a routine that works for you. And then ask yourself, when trying to build this habit, what didn't work? So maybe you're trying to build a physical movement practice, like the example I provided in prompt 2. But for you, this habit hasn't quite picked up the speed that you hoped it would. And maybe the main method that you've tried to build this habit is through having an accountability system, be it a class time or a partner that you go to the gym with or go on a walk with. And maybe now, when you're having this space to reflect, you're realizing that didn't work. I don't like being held accountable by other people telling me what to do. In fact, I often do the opposite and rebel against that type of accountability. Get curious and always stay compassionate. Don't get too hard on yourself. This is really useful data for you to build successful habits rather than trying to build habits using systems that really don't work for you personally. And now we've made it. We have made it to prompt 5. Choose your experiment. Emphasis on the word experiment. So you have a lot more data in this moment if you've done these journal prompts than you did at the beginning of this video. You know your why you want to journal every day. You know some tactics, some tools that you have used in the past to successfully build habits. You've reflected about what type of accountability works for you, and you have reflected about building habits in the past that haven't been successful, and therefore some things to avoid or some things that probably don't work for building habits for you. Use all of these pieces of awareness as different puzzle pieces to your how to journal every day puzzle, and take your best guess with the information that you have. You may feel like you don't have all the puzzle pieces metaphorically yet, and that's okay. You definitely have a better understanding of the picture you're trying to create, and that's good enough. So keep your why top of mind like you would a North Star. Think of one tool that's been really helpful for you to build habits in the past, Add in a type of accountability you love, and double check that you're not trying to build this habit in a way that hasn't worked before. Then commit. Aloud to yourself, even better, commit in writing by commenting below. What is the experiment you are going to enter for the next 7 days? Of course, you can change that number, but in my experience, it's really beneficial to set some sort of parameter so that on the other side of those 7 days, you can check in again. You likely have other puzzle pieces to then add to the mix to create an even better system for yourself and to be one step closer to succeeding in this habit that you want to build. And then begin again. You get to begin again if you want in 7 days. Continue this cycle as many times as it takes until you build a successful journaling routine. Of course, if you need any support or you have any questions that have come up in this process, you can always contact me, reach out to me on my website, yesandbymarin.com, or in the comments below. And I'm happy to support you to unveil those blind spots and work with you to create a plan that works and feels good. Once you've built this habit, if you would like some extra prompts for what to journal about once you're journaling every day, I have a whole playlist right here on YouTube dedicated to the journal prompts I have shared in the past. And with each of those videos, I have a free PDF download just like today, where you can have this right in front of you to make this journaling even easier. So in summary today, download that PDF that outlines the 5 journal prompts I shared with you today by clicking the link in my description below. As you are beginning to journal every day, check out my journaling playlist to get even more journal prompts and fill those journals with fruitful insights and effective outcomes. Don't forget to comment below, declare the experiment you created for yourself with prompt 5 today, or share other insights or ask additional questions you may have. And lastly, I would be so appreciative if you enjoyed this video to like it, to subscribe to my channel for free alignment trainings every Tuesday, and to share it with a friend. If you know someone else who's trying to build a journaling habit and hasn't quite gotten there yet, I'm sure they would be so grateful to have these 5 prompts as well. Potentially, you could even walk through it together if that kind of accountability works well for you. And that is all from me for now. My name is Marin Lauka. I am the owner of Yes and as a life coach for professional women, I help you to unveil your limiting beliefs, release those false expectations, and at last step into your full potential so that you can make your positive impact and experience true fulfillment. If you're wondering what that true fulfillment and highest potential is for you, then be sure to tune in again next week, where I'm sharing journal prompts to help you tap into your higher self. It's going to be a good one, and I'll see you there.